Welcome back to episode 13, Greatest's Let's Play FTB Monster series. We left off last episode just by starting up Thorncraft. In here. I've had some bookshelves, so this should recharge things. But, as I was debating last episode, I decided just to go ahead with the cheat sheet, which unlocks my research, just because I've done it many times before, and I consider, well, no, I don't mind actually doing it again. I do mind, however, having to wait to show you stuff while I go through the entire puzzle game for each research. So, yeah, I'd rather not be able to wait just for the sake of the series. On my own playthroughs, I do it normally. And it's not too bad when you're doing it for a playthrough, you don't have to do it quickly. But I'm trying to get these episodes produced maybe once a day, maybe once every few days. So, my playtime is such that I do need to actually get through this. So one of the first things we should make, excuse me, one of the first things we should make is an upgraded wand. Now, if you look on the Thaumaturgy tab, you start off with a basic wand craft, but if you need to head two ways. Let's put it on the screen. You need to head for this, the Greatwood Wand Core, and head for this, gold wand caps. That's pretty much the first upgrade you should probably get. Don't think I want a great Thaumium wand caps. Well, that's Infusion, so we can't do that. Yeah, we can't get to Thaumium just yet. But we can do gold. So gold is just 5 gold nuggets in a hat shape for that you normally do for helm. And the wand core is just 2 logs like this, and it produces a wand core. I've already produced both of those, so if I put the wand core in the center and the gold caps, we need V of all types, and I get a new wand. Yay! This stores up to 50 instead of 25 like the old one. Now it's not the end wand, but the end wand requires a silverwood tree, and I'm using ATG terrain generation, and to be honest, I think it's been a bit of a mistake in that I have not seen any sign whatsoever of any kind of magical biome. So I may be really stuck until I can get fast travel here. But the idea is that I can go out to a node, at least now. And again, I've unlocked the, what's it called? Shouldn't do this while I'm underwater. Take another breath. I've unlocked this node preserver. But you can't do it with your initial wand, it doesn't work, so that would still damage things. You do need this upgraded wand. So if I just set it here, I should be able to pull in, well, I stop hopping around anyway. There we are. I should really build a platform with this. You'll see it's reduced it to 1 of each type. And that's okay. That's exactly what we kind of expect. And that should recharge. I think that's in range of my chunk loader. But if not, they should recover anyway. So at this point, I've recharged 2 of the V elements. 49 and 50. I do need to find some others just to recharge. There's one over there, but I'm not going to swim on camera. I'm going to go and recharge those now, and I'll be back once I've got a fully charged wand. And just a brief note, if you do have an ocean biome handy, head out there in a boat. You may have to get out of the boat to recharge. There's one. But, yeah, because you may not be able to get the things to respond to you in inside the boat. But generally that's not too much trouble, and as you can see at the top left, I've got mostly recharged, and this is just from a couple of minutes on the ocean. So, it's now been about an hour since I last started recording, and, well, put some carpet down, but I've been digging out a new area of the base for magic. And as you can see, walls of stone, and some dirt further down. And it'd be nice to use on magic to replace that rather than dig it all out, because my tool only has 100 uses. Well, it's got repair 2 on it, moss 2 on it, but still not as good. So what can we do? Where's my stone? Ah, there it is. Let's just drop this miscellaneous stuff back in the system. Okay, so what we can do is make a focus. Focuses, or foci, I should say, are up here on the second tab. The one we actually want is equal trade focus, this for that. See, my original one doesn't have enough, so I'm just going to replace it with this one, which does. And let's just switch them again. And I wonder if I've got my keybinds. I do. If you hold down F, you get this menu. Hold on the one you want and let go. And we've now got the equal trade focus. So if I remember rightly, you have to shift right click on the block you want to replace. And then, is it shift right click? Ah, there we go. Shift right click on the block you want to use to replace what you're aiming at. So, right click. As you can see, it is using up the V in the wand. So it's like 0.07 every time it replaces a block, but I mean, just look at how easy this is. You might want to wait until you got a wand recharge station, and we're going to come to that soon. Sorry, this is just addictive. So easy. Yeah, I'm really short of order and Auto and Peditio now. But I do have a nice staircase. The other thing I wanted to do, just put this back before I get too tempted, is build more of these books. And I need these books, I need to use lots of ender pearls, and it's okay because I've got an ender pearl farm. What I don't have is a source of ink, and I keep having to jump into the ocean to get some squid, so what I thought I'd do is make an ink farm. Quite simple. You make an MFR rancher, hook it up to our power system, connect the item ducts to a barrel, and a barrel is just some wood. This is a larger barrel. In this case I can just take, I could take the entire stack if I wanted to, but yeah, let's just take the entire stack. There we go. Now in there is a squid, and in order to do that, what you need to do is capture a squid with an item called a jailer's safari net. So around a normal single-use safari net, which is some slime, leather, and etc. The important thing about a jailer's safari net, however, is that once you capture something in it and then release it, it doesn't despawn. So that squid, let's call him Jim. Jim the squid is in there and providing us with ink for a foreseeable future, which is great. Lots of things need ink. These special pipes, the filter pipes, miscraft ages, you name it. But what do we actually want? So I get, how much will do. Come over here. We're looking for an intralinking page, so drop 16 in, grab a panel. That's a disarm, that's terrible. Push it in. Another disarm. Great. Come on. Oh, great. Okay, so I need to grow more ender pearls. Okay, occasionally when that happens, you'll get one with just intralinking on it, which is the one you want to make portals around your base, or books around your base. So let's just get rid of those because no one wants to disarm. All that would mean is if you used it, you'd drop everything on the floor before you get portaled through. Not the best thing in the world. Let's just put normal link panels in there, useful for Mistcraft. Anyway, back to digging out more of the base. Alright, it's been about a day since the last cutting camera. Jim the Squid is still in here, but you'll notice I've disconnected it. Why? Well, 128 stacks of ink. I doubt I'm ever going to use that that much, but it's there, and I may add some auto processing to turn some of it into ink bottles for Mistcraft. But that's a very useful and very fast way to get lots of ink. Now I have finished, by the way, I've made some, if you look at my UI on the left hand side, some Geo Strata crystals. You find them in caves, you can combine them with some obsidian, gold and redstone and glowstone, and you get, you can port them around and move them back to your base. I've put them in clear glass at the moment. Excuse me. I'm not going to do that forever, just wanted to show them off while I can, and in fact I may try and remove them from the UI. There's a tinkling sound. I've already removed particles or turned them off because you get particles all the time if you don't. So I'll hunt down some more of these crystals as and when I see them. But back to what we've dug out now. You'll notice I have a hammer in my inventory. I will probably show you more about that. It's just a way to dig out 3x3 area. So if I dug this, all of this area would disappear. I'll show you some more of that later because I intend to show you how to recharge it with RF, and that's worthwhile showing separately. So as you can see, I've got another junction just like my test area. I'm not finished that way yet, but I've got a couple of side rooms which are 11 by 11. No particular significance to that particular size, other than I probably want one of the rooms of this size for smaller tasks like enchanting, which is a good candidate for this room. Other magical stuff too, but we'll come back to that later, so I'll do another one that side, and this is just a book back to the centre. However, dun dun dun, here's the bigger room. This is 19 by 19, and most of you will recognise what this is. If you don't worry, I'll briefly go through it. I'm sure there's plenty of long tutorials. In fact, I've got a few of my previous series, but this is an infusion crafting area. Now, if you don't know what that is, unlike a crafting table, an infusion crafting area, you supply essentia, and usually in jars, and put it near the center object. It can be as far as out as this wall easily, and maybe even more, but it will suck it in from any of the jars on this wall into the altar. You don't have to worry about connecting by pipes or anything. Similarly, you also place items on these pedestals, and I'll show you how to make those in a little while. This isn't actually complete yet. I've left that to be done on camera. These are arcane stone blocks, which is what these are made out of. This is just an eye shape in a crafting grid made out of those, so everything combines. And similarly, this one is just a 2x2 in a crafting grid made out of those, so lots of those needed, and they're very, very cheap. They're just stone in an 8 ring around one of those Thorncraft shards. Anyone, doesn't really matter. Excuse me. So, this line of torches here, however, on the floor, one of the problems with infusion crafting, and one of the hassles for people, is that each recipe has a certain amount of instability with it. And unless you put items down on the floor or near to this altar, you have a chance of things going wrong. From less serious to most serious, that could be hurting you by zapping you with a lightning. It could be knocking one of your items off one of these pedestals. Or it could be zapping the item on the pedestal completely. It just disappears and turns into goo and goes all over the floor. So you can use items to try to mitigate the effect. The items are skulls from mobs, candles from Thorncraft itself, or crystal clusters, which are just 6 of those Thaumcraft crystals in a door kind of pattern, so just 2 wide by 3 high. Usually you find people put them around the floor, inside this kind of area marked out by the torches. Not what I'm going to do. From this block, you have 6 in each direction, so, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this way. But you also have 10 up from this block upwards. And you also have 5 down. Now, 5 down, that's 1, 2, 3 is the floor. So I have 2 beneath the floor, which is an ideal way without, lowering the ceiling and putting stuff above it. Because there's ocean up there, and yeah, ocean's not the greatest place to put these things. So I made a room. And as you can see, I've put a fair few items to start off with. You don't need to fill this space, but you can if you want to, and I probably will. What's important here is that everything is radially symmetric, so if there's something here on this side of the centre marked out by the torch, there needs to be something that's in the exact opposite spot on the other side of the torch. Doesn't matter what type it is. I've arranged them nicely, symmetric, with different types corresponding to different types. You don't have to do that. As long as it's one of these items that qualify, it can be anything that's radially symmetric. You could have a skull on that side, crystal on this side, doesn't matter. All that matters is that that space is occupied by one of these items that mitigates the instability. So as you can see, as I go around, I've just made sure everything is radially symmetric. As we actually go around the different angles, there's that angle, there's that angle. Yep. So as you add more and more of these, it mitigates the chances of things going badly wrong. And if you want to know the area, obviously if it's 6 radius on the 6 blocks away from the center altar, in here it's going to be 13 by 13, in this case by 2, and that's 169 by 2, which is like 538, I'm guessing. Yeah, something like that. That's 538? There. What am I talking about? 338. Yes, so it's important for you at least to provide some items like that. You don't have to go crazy, like I'm probably going to do, but at least start to put some items down, bearing in mind. So, moving on to this. We now actually want to create this altar block. So, as you see, I've moved my work table down here. But let's go back, because we're going to need to look this up in the Thermonomicon. And you can hear mobs around. I've not actually limited them only to everything outside these walls up yet, so bear that in mind. Sorry about the noise. Where is my infusion? There we go. So, the Runic Matrix is the last block to go in. And that's the one I'm going to leave to all on camera. Made more of these arcane stone blocks, so if I click through to this, as I said, it's just stone around an air shard. And you're going to need quite a few of these, maybe 60, 70, something like that in total. The pedestals, just an eye shape, and they will use up some of the aspects that you got, the essential you got in your wand. This one uses 40 auto, so you need to have a nearly fully charged wand. And it doesn't matter which shard, as long as you've got the right type. So, let's go and get those ingredients. Really handy to have these books to get around a larger base. So let's just grab 4 of entropy shards. And we want... Did I put away the arcane stone blocks? I need to make a few more. Let's just grab an extra one. I've got some stone in my inventory, that's fine. I just need an ender pearl. I think that's it. Yeah, that should be it. Let's grab the wand. So let's make some extra stone blocks to start off with. 9. Put them on the outside. Runic Matrix, but insufficient V. It's like 42. Because this, if you look at the V cost, it's 105%. With the Greatwood one, it's 95%. So it's down to 38. There we go. What I'm probably going to need to do, however, is put a stone block here. So I'm going to need to place it down on top. And I put this down. If I break this final block, now if I just click it with a wand, I think that will do it. So where's my, oops, still in the crafting bench. Yeah, hold on to your, oh, have I assembled this wrong? Really? Let's have a look. Fusion, where's the altar? 4 arcane stone blocks, 4 arcane stone bricks, arcane pedestal, runic matrix. That's oh, hang on. Do I need stuff to start the altar? Where are you? Yeah, you see, I only need 25 of everything, so I'm short of just auto. So I need to go and recharge. Be right back. In fact, that was so quick, I probably didn't even need to cut the camera. It was like 20 seconds. There is like an order node. Just let me just seal that back up. Just there, that one. That's auto or order, however you want to describe it. So let's just head down. And hopefully now, you can see everything's nearly full. There we go, complete. And it's spinning. Gotta say, as an ore, that's just amazing. I'm sorry. After seeing cubes, ores pointing up and down, having one that's actually just rotated 45 degrees in both directions, in both orientations, is fine. Right, so let's shall we see if we can craft something. In fact, I've just depleted this one, so I may not be able to. Let's see what it takes to create Boots of the Traveller. I'm going to need to make some Essentia, which means I'm going to need to make some of the earlier stages. This is the only disadvantage of cheating in the research to make it easier to show you everything, is that you forget the proper order of unlocking some of these things. So you need to be a bit more careful. If we go to here, Essentia Distillation, it's more of these arcane stone blocks again. You make a furnace, which you power with regular kind of stuff, coal, until you get elementum, which is later, with a crucible and a furnace. And that's going to be a hassle. That's silverwood. It's going to be a real hassle because I haven't found any silverwood. Right. Let me cut while I figure out how to solve that particular problem, and we'll be right back. Well, that was annoying. I just spent about a day looking for a magical forest. So much so that I actually made one of these. It's a filling machine. It's from Rotary Craft. You just pipe ethanol crystals into it, and you dump in a jetpack. On servers at least, ethanol jetpacks seem to just send you straight up, so you can't use them to travel forward a lot. That's why I use a hang glider from Open Blocks. Hang glider is just leather, like kind of triangular shape with a couple of sticks. It's one of the wings and the same for another wing, and a stick between them. It's not very hard to make at all, and that lets you travel horizontally from a high place, like where a jetpack will take you, travel forward. And for me, that took me about 9,000 blocks to find a single magical forest. If you're on a server with other people, don't do what I just did and completely depopulate the magical forest of all silverwood trees. But I was getting so fed up. I mean, I went 6,000 away, way over there, and then I looped around a little bit, went a bit north, and came back, and I found one on the way back. And that's, by the way, with after I tripled the regularity with which you should find magical forests in the configs for ATG, alternate train generation. So I don't think I'll be using ATG in future worlds, but it was a bit of a pain to get to. But I'm back and I have some silverwood logs. More importantly for later, I have silverwood saplings. Now, you're not guaranteed one with every tree, but I've got a number of them there, 11. And once I make a special kind of hoe that we're going to be able to make later on with Infusion, I should be able to grow silverwood. You can't just plant them and wait for them to grow, they just won't. Hopefully some of those silverwood saplings will, well, it's one of the only ways to create new nodes. Obviously you can go to new chunks that haven't been generated yet, but inside existing chunks, when silverwood grows, it has a chance to spawn a node in it, particularly a pure node. And if it does, then you're in luck, because it starts to transform the biome that the silverwood just grew in into magical forest, which is exactly what I may need, particularly if I want to grow mana beans. And mana beans are very useful for getting Essentia, which is one of our next challenges. So let's quickly have a look back at the Thormonomicon, which is where I was when I headed out there to try and get all of this stuff. We wanted, well, first of all, a crucible, but that's just a cauldron with a wand. That's, and no V cost. That's fine. And we wanted a couple of these, didn't we? So I'm going to want one alchemical furnace, some silverwood, some gold, some iron, some gold. Interesting, the alchemical construct is also a workbench recipe. Which is nice, because that has no chance of causing us failure with alchemy. But we don't quite need alchemy just yet. Just some, well, a furnace and a couple of some of these. So let's go and get some pieces together for this. So let's grab say a couple of blocks of gold. Some of those, doesn't matter quite how many. And I probably want 5 of these, so at least gonna want 5. We also need some iron. Should do. Five buckets, and let's go and see if we can make those. Probably get forgetting something, but we'll see. Okay. So let's make our V filters first. And I've run one wand out of V already. Where's my other wand? That's 5 V filters. Now we just need yeah, of course, I forget those. Fine. Just take a few. So this does act as a regular crafting table too, and I've got a portable crafting one even if it didn't. So just get rid of those. Up the wand, that changes it to crucible, and alchemical furnace. That's one of the things. Where should we put it for now? Look at the speed. The speed. This. Yeah, haste potions are amazing. So yeah, we'll put it above ground for now. The way this works is just like a regular furnace. You put coal in there or other flammable material, and it will take items usually. Well, at least to start off with. We'll eventually get to mana beans here, but it will take items, burn them up, and they'll turn into their essential versions, and they'll go upwards into the alembics, which we're about to build. We'll then have to take them into jars, probably manually to start, because the automatic pipe system no longer works from 4.1, so it was 4.0 and before, so let's sort out the alembics. So it's 5 iron, 1 gold per alembic. Assuming I have enough V, which I probably don't, but you won't need 5 of these to start. I think that's 5 just the maximum you can stack on. Ah, I do have enough. The maximum you can stack on top of 1 furnace. And you don't normally need all 5, it's just that it's kind of handy. And I suppose you could have it facing the wall with them both ways. Yeah, we shouldn't need that. One side should be enough. So, let's see if we can start this up. What were we looking at building? We were looking at making some boots of the Traveller. And to get boots of the Traveller, where are you? There you are. We need a bunch of stuff. That's not difficult to get. But we do need 25 Iter and 25 Volatus. Okay, now if you go up here into your first tab, go to Aspects, you can hover, it'll show you how much Iter are in which item. So in this case, fence gates happen to have 1 Iter. I'm certainly not making any of the others, so fence gates. I think there's also trapdoors. That could be something else. So fence gates, fine. And we also want lattice, which is arrows. It's 1 per arrow, it looks like. So that we can do. It's 1 for both of them. So we need 25 fence gates and 25 arrows. And actually we're also going to need the jars to hold them in. Where are you, jars? What are jars and labels? Some slabs and panes. I'm not going to worry about labeling things just yet. Slabs, do I have any? Yep. One in. That's it for the slabs. Now I want more drops. I want... Actually, I'm going to take a few more, just because occasionally you can get the problem. I haven't scanned feathers, it probably is actually in feathers, but occasionally you get the problem where it uses up too many, too much essentia. We don't want that. Because if you run out of essentia, you get all kinds of problems. I think it's low on wood. May need some more. Yeah, so if I need 25 of these, I'm going to need 50 planks. And I'm going to need 100 sticks. I've got nothing like that. Oh, that's why. So, I should have enough 50 planks. 50-ish. Do a few more. $32, $32, $32. Same as my arrows. Oop, I need some coal. Just down convert the block of coals. There we go. So we can just dump the coal in. And then let's dump in the arrows first. While that's cooking. We've got water jars. Okay. This is why it's useful to have lots of jars. Because we'll use in a pipe. I was going to help with the connector, that's probably just the alchemy. Fine. Essential tubes. Couple of iron, glass, quicksilver, and gold. The quicksilver I'm going to be short of. And at some point I am actually going to run out of E now. I think now. Let's take a look. See how much is left. Should be enough for this actually. Glass. Essential tube. Now, from 4.1 onwards, you can only have This finished? Yeah, it's finished. You can only have one of the. You can't have more than one of the Essentia going through a tube at the same time, and you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with valves and stuff to try and control that. At the end of the day, that's not the way I end up doing things, and I don't think it's the way you should end up doing things either. Instead, for now, I'm just going to do this. Oh, manually. That really destroy the Essentia tube. That's evil. So that's the element I want. Let me just throw. It wouldn't shift click in because they're both flammable. Okay, so that's one of the things I want. Let's put you here. Should pull in just fine. You, I'm just going to put over here for now. That's the one I actually want, so that's kind of handy. It's in that one. See now why you want some of these alembics. At least when you're doing things manually, all of this isn't going to get pulled out of here automatically. Something that you want to, at least initially, you're going to have to do manually. One thing you may have seen in here, just while that fills. Whoops, not here. Here are the labels, and if you use the labels, it locks it to whatever's in fact, can I do that while that actually fills up? You can lock whatever's in the jar so that you can't accidentally cause problems later, and it's nice to at least see the labels. On void jars, if you put them on void jars, which I'll show you what they are, that's so you can't overfill or try and overfill the system or have duplicates. They create suction, or they used to, but there's no need to do that unless you're looking at pipes, and you really shouldn't be looking at pipes. Honestly, just not worth it. Not anymore. Sorry, as I know, but it's terrible just to have only one type going through pipes without any kind of way of automating that whatsoever. So, yeah, it was Motus that was on those. That's fine. Where was I? Yes, I needed slime. So, a couple of those. Paper. Keep making paper and then losing where I've left it. Basic building material. There we go. Paper. And some of Jim's best ink. But use a portable crafting thing. Or maybe I can't because it's Thorncraft. Never mind. My inventory's too full anyway. So, where's the ink? There you are. In fact, it's not Thorncrafted, I don't think. There we go, we've got 8. So, you can just right click on these. And they'll lock them to whatever's currently in them. Easy. Ooh, that's not finished yet. It's filled up with more than one thing. Yeah, that's... It's basically run out of room to put arbor in the first one, so it has to go to the second one, and it goes and it looks like it starts to boil over, but it doesn't ever really boil over. So, or at least not until Azanor gets his hands on it again, which I fully expect to happen. And that's going to drain. And what? Yeah, no, it's filling that one with arbor as well. Arbor's one of those things you just end up with a lot of. Yep. Stupid mouse. Right. So 32 of each. Where's our recipe? We're going to need 25 of each. Need some enchanted fabric, which is some wool and string. Air shards, feather, raw fish. I wonder if I have any raw fish, otherwise I'm going to have to go fish off camera. Yeah, I didn't think I had. Fine, I will be right back. And I've got some fish. Now notice I've got 2 fish instead of just 1. Similarly with the feather and with the air shards and everything else. That's because the instability thing. One of the effects is that it can zap items, so you want to have spares on hand on your toolbar ideally before we go in. So we do actually need 2 enchanted fabric, and that's just string and wool. Notice I've made 1 spare. So let's check that again. Yep, looks like we have everything. Now, put the item to be transformed in the middle. This doesn't get zapped as far as I know, or at least I've not seen it. You really hope to heck you've got enough of these instability improving items. I've added a few more, but this is a starting recipe, so hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. And then you lay the rest of the things out on the pedestals, and you again try to lay them out radially centered. So if you're going to, in this case there's 6 items, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1 of you there, 1 of you there, 1 of you there. I don't think it matters which type of item is on which pedestal, mind you, but I'll try and get it. Well, I can't really center it in this case. Maybe I can a little bit. Take you off for a second. So I've got fish, 2 air shards, 2 enchanted fabric, and a feather. Should be everything. This is where you hope. Pulling the volatus. Got all of that now, as you can see the thing all over the top. Pulling the iter. Start pulling the items next. This is kind of an amazing effect, isn't it? Let's face it. You don't get this in workbench crafting or anything else. There goes the items, come on. Looks like it's going to work. There we go. Boots of the Traveller. Yes. Oh. Oh, this is so much better. And you can run up these stairs really quickly. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, I'm going to be addicted to these for the next few days. The only disadvantage they don't have is if you go using that jetpack anywhere that I showed you earlier, you can get a better effect with using ironwood boots. If you fall from the glider, and you will because of lag and all kinds of other things, having some boots with feather falling on at the time is better than having the haste from these things. Oh, and by the way, these aren't the eventual items. You can upgrade them to Runic Boots of the Traveller, but you can also enchant them with haste. So, and repair. repair's important too. So we'll get to that as well. And they become pretty ridiculous at that point. Maybe power suits can get even better, modular power suits. But yeah, I'm much happier with this. And if we can run with these if we want to, I think. But it's pretty ridiculous regardless. And no instability, at least not none showing so far. So I'll keep filling this room as I find more and more of these crystals while mining. So I think that wraps it up at the end of this episode. We've obviously got some of this left in there, so I'll keep those to hand. I'll go and fill up wand again. I probably should make a chest down here, to be honest, because I need lots of stuff. And I'm probably going to finish out this room. I did find a huge mining kind of area. It's where all the monsters you can hear are in there, so I've got to go and explore that and light it up so it doesn't cause any problems. And then look at what we do next episode. We could do more Thorncraft. Now I've got some speed boosts though. It's not quite as important. Speed boosts let me show you things faster. I can run around. Could show it to make silverwood, which is using this make silverwood trees, which is this hoe of growth. That's going to be very useful for making mana bean farms, and I'm not sure I want to do that just yet. I may make this bone bow though. That looks pretty good, to be honest. Some of the other things that we probably want to make, we can change the goggles of really into a full helm. They do get upgraded. It's not showing in here, but you can combine them with a thormium helmet. That might be good. The paving stones of travel, having extra speed on top of the speed boost, it appeals to me. But yeah, thank God momentum isn't a problem in Minecraft. Otherwise, I'd rocket into a wall about 400 miles an hour. But it would be enjoyable until I hit the wall. Is there anything else? Oh, there it is. That's the helmet of revealing. It's the combination of those two things. Yeah, nothing too terrible in there. Some of the other foci are pretty nice, and I should kind of get into alchemy. Well, you can produce thormium, but that's not terribly good. What is, however, good is elementum. You can automate that to end up with infinite elementum, and if you've not seen that before, I do have a specific episode of my previous series called Automated Infinite Elementum, and that shows you how to do it, so I'll probably reproduce that setup again. Everything else, nothing too urgent. This automated alchemy is one of the things you need to automate the infinite elementum, by the way, so we are going to get into that. This, generally you don't get to this till later unless you research this way, but usually you start researching with the basic crucible. You're using alchemy with a basic crucible and it's terrible. V goes everywhere if you're not careful. Censure, V, taint. One of those. It's flux goo, basically. It goes everywhere. Don't really like that too much, so I do kind of want the automated version, the sealed version. And yeah, maybe a focus pouch. Lots of things to do anyway. So that's the end of this episode. Thanks for watching. If you want to like this video, feel free to go ahead and do so, or subscribe if you want to see more of these videos, or leave a comment if you want to tell me how much of an idiot I am for not having these boots before now, which is all well and good. Thanks for watching.